Sixth grade is like the new point where you're starting from a fifth grader to a sixth grader, because it's honestly letting you know you are going to have to be more independent when you go into the sixth grade. Trust me, I've been through this experience, and let me let you know, is it's gonna be a rough. It's gonna be new to some people, because once you're into the sixth grade, it makes totally sense. So sixth grade is where you hit the point is you're starting to become a teenager from the age or the phase where you are turning to a 10 to a 11. Now, would make sense because a lot of people really don't have to go through this. But if you went through the sixth grade, you would honestly know the same point is a lot is more people that are going to be in your age group and you are normally not a little kid anymore, you are going to get hit with a teenager starting phase experience. Now, you will get hit with mostly anything, but here's the thing when it comes to the truth is sixth grade is basically that whole time you're gonna have to go on your own schedules. You're not in a class with anyone. You are getting in this. You are in the same class with the same people, with maybe the same people, maybe not, in different types of people from different teams. Now, in my middle school, we had 4 teams. Now, I might not want to say these teams because I don't want to expose myself where I live, but you could be on different teams and you have different schedules, meaning 4 teams had different schedules. The last team had the last at lunch at the very end of the school day. Now, if you were me, you would honestly see this as a whole total way. It's not good anyway. A lot of people went from different types of schools. Honestly, I've been through the experience, so kids that are getting into the fifth grade to the sixth grade, let me explain this experience. Now, I had totally different classes because I had sped classes to this day still because I have 2 disabilities. But either way, it's fine because I didn't really get a normal education hmm, as the normal kids. But let me explain how it's still a experience you're going to go through. If you have a normal experience, you're going to be in normal classes that honestly have different schedules, meaning you're going to have to go at certain times just to get to that class. And if you don't get to that class on time, then you are tardy. You get 3 tardies in a row, so you can't just honestly be late to each class. So if you have good grades and you want to keep them up, recommend you do the homework and then you can honestly get passed through life and get A's and B's. Now, I'm the type of kid to get A's now because honestly, when I get into the 7th grade, which is a whole different story, I mostly focus on getting good grades. Honestly, until you get into the 5th grade, you realize it's still kid stuff and you're doing all this fun stuff until you get into the teenager stage. You're going to hit puberty, and some girls are going to do the same, but it's a different matter because they teach you certain things when you get into the 4th grade, like how the body works from different genders, like all of this stuff. So you would honestly understand this is just the different stages until you manage to realize middle school is the start of where you become a teenager from the stages where you understand it. Trust me, I went through and still going through this experience, but now heading into the 8th grade. At the point after this year, I'm going into high school. Normally, I'm going to be 14 this year, so 14 this year, so guaranteeing you it's going to be a crazy experience. But I can relate to so many people that 6th grade was kind of chaotic and it did not make sense. One that not make sense is there's drama between almost every time when you have free time. Now you would be on in our middle school, in my middle school, or pretty sure in your middle school, there's always had to be some drama because always anyone could just start a fight or do any weird stuff in the bathrooms. Now, a lot of people would do this, and they probably still do this. And one in middle school is pretty weird. It's vapes. I don't understand why people want to kill their lungs and give them asthma, especially people with asthma, and they don't know what the vape is. Especially if you don't know what a vape is, or if you do know, is basically a vape is a whole pack of cigarettes all together as one. Meaning, making sure is you have to stay away from this, especially if you have asthma especially like me, you would have this. and you would normally have your lungs way more pressure on yourself, so you couldn't do sports. A lot of people go to the hospital because of a vape. One, the second reason why middle school did not make sense, especially because of all these fights. School fights were not making sense. If you got into a random fight, then that was your problem. Because anyone you could start a fight with, tall, short, or anyone, it didn't matter. It's gonna build up a whole crowd. Some people would be betting on certain kids who would win the fight. Another thing you're going to experience is people will make some certain things about you that will not make sense, such as rumors. Now, this will make sense as you would be clearly understanding, and it will not make fully sense once you really get into the grade. Well, here's the thing. The new things is you get in life is hours. Your first hour, your second hour, third hour, and your fourth. Now, your homeroom will be your main classroom for the start of the day, is until you hit the first hour. The first hour is where your class is where some people go to different types of hours to different certain classrooms that they get put in. Meaning you can go to art in the first hour or PE in certain classes. In my school, we would have B days or A days. In certain classes, you could get put in certain days. Like if you had an A day, you would go to this certain class, or specifically band, or you have orchestra, or you just had arts, or but a lot of people would do like PE would have different certain classes on PE, meaning you wouldn't have the full day of PE. So it's like elementary school, but instead of hour you get put in those specialty hour classes, get put into those specific hours. Like art could be your third hour, or gym could be your second hour, PE could be your second hour, or your fourth hour it could be medical, PLTW, which is honestly almost every school has that. But yes, it's a normal thing for school is when you're going into you have different types of hours. Homeroom is your starter, is where you or you can eat breakfast. Honestly, I go for the breakfast every time, but it's a normal thing for me because I've been through this experience and growing and doing all these different types of classes. Meaning it also in each quarter she will get in replaced with different types of classes, but keep the main core classes like band, PE, or anything else if you get swapped by the school. But the grade, because the only reason why you could get swapped is because of a special thing you have, like a disorder, like a disability, or if you're just failing that class and they have to swap you out with a new one. Meaning, not a lot of people failed their classes because they got swapped. It's just some people did not care to choose to do it. So, meaning, you wouldn't honestly get put in different classes if you had to. But honestly, that's what you're gonna get faced is honestly we had this thing called a security pass. I'm pretty sure some schools still some use it, but it did not make sense for people to just constantly just go in the bathrooms and waste their time and miss the whole class lesson. You could come back in an hour and the teacher would honestly question and say, "Oh, why did it take that long for you to go out to come back into the classroom and sit and do the lesson?" Because you just honestly, some teachers will be some haters if you get them on their bad side. Certain teachers would be honestly doing this for because they want to show you is if you did that bad stuff, you're gonna get the horrible treatment because you did this to yourselves. But if you did the good in your class, you would get the good experience. Now, honestly, I did struggle with some classes, but honestly, I still managed to get through them and still get past through it. But honestly, this is how you will face the experience from just going to a sixth grader into a seventh grader. until you hit the 8th grader stage. Then after that, you hit into ninth grade. Honestly, after my 8th grade year, I'm going to hit into ninth grade, which is the start of high school. But yes, honestly, you will get A's, B's, and C's, and D's, and F's now. It's a normal thing for your classes now because you're going to have to be graded. And also, you will have attendance. Meaning, attendance is how you attend the class and how is the progress you're making. But if you show up early, you're going to do well. But if you have a certain situation, then honestly, that's how you're going to go through. Anyway, bye y'all.